Hey everybody, Chris here. So we have a pullback for Dogecoin, Bitcoin, and the crypto market. We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out as well. That's when I do live streams. And we were live on Thursday afternoon and evening. And I was looking at the markets and I was predicting this pullback. That's right. If you were watching the live stream yesterday, you would have seen, actually drew a line on the chart, which I'll show you. Was my prediction, because someone asked, Chris, just draw on the chart what you think is going to happen. And I did. Take a look at that. I know some of you just say, Chris, why don't you just talk about Dogecoin going up all the time? And it's just like, you know me, I'm more of a realist. I thought this pullback was eventually going to happen. I thought it was going to be a day earlier, which is why I entered a swing trade. But that is starting to play out now. Again, I'd much rather have the markets continue to go up because these videos and the live streams are a lot more fun when you only have green candles, but that's not the way the markets work. So let's get into it. Let me show you the charts and the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. We start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart, and we're just over 23 cents right now. Here is the dip this morning. Last night, Dogecoin just continued to move up, came up over 25 cents. That's where the euphoria kicks in, and everyone's like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Bitcoin had hit $112,000 here yesterday afternoon and was still looking good last night. A little bit of a pullback happening. One last little run up before this morning's dip on Bitcoin. But, you know, with all of this that was happening yesterday and all of this big news, I mean, at the time during the live stream, Dogecoin was kind of going sideways. And this is where I drew my line. So I didn't anticipate that last little run up last night. Because, I mean, Bitcoin didn't really do that. A little bit, but really more for Dogecoin. But this was the line I drew. And, I mean, we can look at it zoomed out a little more and see what I was predicting. But it was pretty much going to be a tough Friday of trading I was looking forward to. And here we are. So we are kind of following that right now. And again, not just Dogecoin, Bitcoin, but ETH also dives, and we've got Solana also dives. So it is the whole market, again, kind of following Bitcoin and what Bitcoin does. That's what the market does as well. Yeah, Bitcoin dominance right now is still, you know, comes up a little bit when we see a dip, and that's typically what we see. So, I mean, Dogecoin was running last night, right? And as Dogecoin was running, Bitcoin dominance was falling. But then when Bitcoin dips, the rest of the alts dip a little harder. Again, that's the repeating narrative. And so then Bitcoin dominance starts to recover back up. So that's the pattern that we see. So what's causing this, and why are the markets down? Well, let's take a look at right now. I'm recording this Friday morning before the stock market opens, but pre-market, S&P futures down 1.5%, Dow down 1.5%, NASDAQ down 2%, Russell down 2.5%. The VIX, which is the more like the fear of the market, right, is going up. Gold is recovering. And what's this about? Trump tariffs and Apple. Well, this was the news. Was President Trump says iPhones not made in the U.S. will face a 25% tariff. The news was all about India a few weeks ago, where Apple was going to move its China operations to India, and Trump was like, no, that wasn't the deal. The deal was you build here in America. And here's John Elder saying it, bye-bye China, and it's like, that wasn't about China. I mean, that was previous. Now it's about India, and although we have good relationships with India here in the United States, it's like Trump's like, no, the idea is to build here, not in another country, which Apple had committed to building factories here in the United States, but it wasn't going to be for the iPhone. It was going to be for something else. I don't know. Trump's like, no. The markets don't like that, and so we see all of this pullback, especially Apple stock. It's going to be down big today. You just know it at opening. So you guys holding Apple stock like I do, I hold some Apple stock. I've held it for a long time. I'm just going to keep holding it, but it's like going to be a little bit of a tough day. But not only that, I mean, we have all this euphoria, right? The Bitcoin conference, which I will be at next week. I will be in Las Vegas for the Bitcoin conference, representing Dogecoin, of course, but I get it. It's going to be all the Bitcoin maxis all there, and you know, rah Bitcoin, 115,000 Bitcoin by Vegas, and all the euphoria was kicking in. It's just like, guys, that's not what is happening in the markets, but I get it. Everyone is all excited. A crypto prof is saying, Bitcoin, $131,000 for one Bitcoin next. It's just going to keep going up. Gigantic alt season follows afterwards. And I'm like, I think we're going to get there, but not so fast. Not so fast. I'm not a full bear, and I'm not saying bear market here, but I'm just saying pullback was bound to happen. And that's what we have going. Especially when you see this, like Dogecoin price, 5 technical signals flash green for major breakout. And it's just like, you can do all the TA you want, right? But you look at the news and you look at what is going on in the news, and you knew Trump wasn't done with this whole tariff thing. There's still fear of inflation, fear of recession even still out there because of the impact of the tariffs, which is why the Fed, the United States, is not lowering interest rates yet. So all of those are signals to like say, hey, let's settle down here a little bit. We're not going up yet. And even Kev Capital is like, he's got this big article on TradingView that I'm not going to get into, but his TA is pointing to Dogecoin hitting $3.80. And will we get there? It's like, come this fall, I'm like, let's get to $1. Let's see if Dogecoin can it even pass its previous all-time high, which was like the height of euphoria in Dogecoin back in April and May of 2021. Will Dogecoin get to that level even? And his TA is pointing to 380. I made a little bit of fun about fib retracements and fib lines and all of that, particularly with Bitcoin when you're in price discovery, and Ali and his charts just sort of random lines of the next resistance levels and all. And it's just like, it gets a bit crazy. And you guys want to have fun, and when the prices are going up, I get that. But again, I said the same thing during the live stream last night. And join me on my next live on Friday. We keep it real here. We try and have some fun, but we try and keep it real as well. So I'll be live Friday at 4:00 p.m. East Coast time for my next live. So join in, ask me questions, let me know what's on your mind, because I have this interaction with you guys in the chat. And again, I try and keep it real. So let's all try and have a little bit of sanity here. Like our friends at the Motley Fool have. There's the Motley Fool, right? Bitcoin hits all-time high. But, Bitcoin was due for a crash. ETH and Doge along for the ride down as well. Because that's the thing, is you have the big euphoria and everyone is going crazy. Everyone's going bonkers. And it's like, what's the reality here? As much as crypto advocates would like to think cryptocurrencies are a hedge against the market, the reality is crypto is very correlated with the stock market. It still is. So if the stock market in the United States is going to dump, crypto is still going to dump too. Mostly that's not just the whole crypto market, but it's really Bitcoin. And Bitcoin still has 64% of the total crypto market. So when Bitcoin dumps, we get just about everything else dumping. So, and particularly the memes, I'm sure Moodang is probably down a lot now after its big, Robinhood listing and excitement yesterday. Because that's what happens, is particularly the memes are going to drop harder when that happens. And Trader Alan, it's like Dogecoin is likely to break the recent high up to 25 cents. And it did just come right over 25 cents. But again, that's the sign of a pullback. And that's what we have now, is that pullback. There's this other article from Wormhole saying that Doge is going multi-chain. It's going to Solana. And powered by the Wormhole net transfer tokens or token transfers, whatever, much wow, such Solana. I briefly looked at this, and apparently there's some Q Doge token that gets bought and sold when the actual real Doge is transferred over. And do you really have real Dogecoin when you're on Solana? And I'm just like, Why would you want to do this? Why would you want to do this? Is somebody going to build something on Solana and try and incorporate Dogecoin onto it? But do you really still hold the real Dogecoin, or is it some wrapped token or something like that? I think all of that is still yet to be figured out, what that really is. But maybe they're trying to get ahead of Doge OS and what that's being built on the Dogecoin blockchain. I mean, guys, Dogecoin has its own blockchain. It doesn't need Solana, but somebody was trying to get ahead there and build something on Solana. They're just trying to make money. I mean, that's what all this is. And I don't know if this is really good for Dogecoin. The details are still to come out on this. A lot of people going, "Oh, this is awesome for Doge." Is it really? Does Dogecoin really need this? So I'm still a little skeptical on what this is, but we'll see how that plays out. But you know me, that's how I am. Overall, really, this is what, more than TA and fib lines and all of that, this is what drives price. This is the leverage chart. This is the heat map that we look at. Yeah, there's a lot of shorts up here, right over 112,000 for Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin heat map. But what we were looking at during the live stream last night was this line down here at 108.6, 108.5, $200 million of leveraged longs. And I said during the live stream, that's the target, right? That is where Bitcoin is going to go. And it did. This morning it drops down and it wipes out that $200 million line at 108.6, takes it down a little bit lower, down to 108.4, and then 108.2, another $200 million of leveraged long trades. That is what drives the market. I said it's only a matter of time until the market makers find the weakness. They're going to dump Bitcoin, take out those leveraged long trades. That's exactly what happened. So, I mean, being honest and being real about it, that is what drives the market more than cup and handles and reverse head and shoulder patterns and bull flags and pennants and all of that stuff. This is what drives, this and the news is what drives the prices. So you can't anticipate it, but I kind of had a feeling last night that that is what was going to happen. And that's why I drew this line downwards. Where is that going to go from here? I still think we've got some more dips into the 22s for Doge to come, and we will follow up on this during my next live stream Friday. So join in. We'll get caught up on what's going on. Again, I'd like this all to just go up, 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 but that's not the reality, guys. That's why you watch me. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you feel. You're probably still bullish on Dogecoin like I am as well, but these pullbacks, they do happen. They're almost kind of necessary in a way to flush out some of that leverage so then we can go even higher. So we'll be checking out the Dogecoin heat maps during the next live as well and all of that. Give the video a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.